don't think that the court system cares anything about your relationship with your child. Fortunately, a lot of men come in and they say, I want the judge to know exactly what she's been doing, how she's been treating me, how she treats the kids. And I kind of say, wait a minute, it's rare you find a judge who gives a shit. Okay, it's rare. They don't care. They care about moving cases off their docket. They want their docket to stay clean. So I want them to understand that. You can fight for your day in court. You can get in there. You can have a great case. You can have great evidence. And you can still lose because this judge doesn't care. The judge might be friends with opposing counsel. Law firm may have contributed to the campaign of the judge. There are so many factors that are involved in justice that have nothing to do with justice. You know, it's crazy. We have these big books and they have all these laws in there and there's pages and pages of laws. You know, the judge must X, Y, Z. Then they end it with, or whatever the judge thinks is in the child's best interest, okay? Which kills you on appeal, essentially.
Yo, America, planet Earth, what's good? This is your boy, Codell, and welcome back to another episode of the Father's Gospel Podcast. I got my co-host, Kyle. Kyle, how you doing, brother?
Pretty good, sir.
Good. Today's going to be a cool show. Mm-hmm. You are basically going to explain why you think a qui tam is a necessary step that fathers should be taking to gain justice. Am I basically correct in saying that?
Yeah, it's a resource that can be that some fathers use, you know, like 1983 lawsuits and things like that. But a qui tam suit is, you know, so a 1983 is both state and federal.
Okay.
But a qui tam suit is mainly just solely federal.
Okay. And then you're also going to be kind of just explaining a little bit of the differences between a qui tam and a lawsuit.
They're the same.
Oh, they're the same. They are the same. Okay, cool. Well, that's what we're going to be getting into today. Mainly Kyle's going to be he's going to be taking the stage on this and breaking everything down for you guys. But before it gets going, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, and here we go. All right, Kyle, what do you got for him?
So, like with I don't know who'd you say your friends were that were asking about that?
So I don't know if I want to name all of them, but the ones I'm okay naming is Pedrig, Bogdan, and then a gentleman named Weigel.
Okay.
Yeah. And so two of them are here, and then one's on the other side of the country. Anyways,
yeah. So I don't know they're doing it. Or have done it yet. And the reason why I haven't done it because it's all my federal cases, my state cases, and it's just a lot to have, and then to take on another one. But if we do it, you know, I would collectively get fathers, a group of fathers, so that way whoever's there can pick up, and we can all pick up on that stuff. But anyway, what a qui tam suit is because everything is based on, like, the American Bar Association. They're all based on Latin terms, you know, and so they draw from all Latin terms, which in turn drew from, you know, Britain and things like that, and you know, common law and all these things. And so, you know, the history about law and lawyers and things like that has traveled through times, you know, like the Greeks say, where there's no law, there's no freedom.
Right.
So you have to have laws in order to have those freedoms. You know what I mean? So it's a great segue into some of these. But qui tam basically means suing on behalf of the king and yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
So let me double check that.
So for us, it'd be suing on behalf of the federal government.
Yeah. It means who sues on behalf of the king as well as for him, as well as for himself.
Okay.
And so basically what you're doing is, for lack of better terms, like you're suing on the government's behalf,
right,
for crimes, civil matters that have been committed. So
crimes that are affecting the citizens.
Yeah, civil crimes and criminal stuff that are affecting, you know, individuals, a group of individuals, or the masses in society. So for, like, men, you know, marginalized men, all men, pretty much, fathers, this is a great avenue to take. It's qui tam, and you can do it against anybody. You can do it against the government, but, you know, you're suing on behalf of the government, because we all know, you, like, the BIA can sue the CIA.
So-
you know, if there was some kind of thing, those are two government agencies, you know, but they could sue each other. You know what I mean? And so
Okay.
same thing with like an individual.
I was to say, could I sue an individual on behalf of the government? Is that
Yeah,
possible?
yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
interesting. Okay.
So you can do it because let's say that one individual owns a company, or that one individual is placing multiple individuals in jeopardy
Yeah.
of certain things. And so you can sue that individual.
Okay.
So
So that's what so in essence, in layman terms, I guess that's what a qui tam is you are suing someone or an entity or whatever as a representative of the
yeah, but
government.
there's certain rules, regulations, and procedures that you go through that are covered and that do protect you
Okay.
on that. You know, you can't just,
And what are some of these
I mean,
important?
you can't walk out there and, you know, twist your ankle on the sidewalk and do a qui tam suit
Against the
yeah,
fake-
because that's just
local government or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, that's just boneheaded stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's that's a frivolous case. So when you bring a qui tam suit, generally they're not frivolous.
Okay.
And so you just have to know how to articulate them in order to put it in there. And you're using, again, that Iraq method, which is, you know, okay, what's the issue? What's the relevant laws? You know, apply the facts, and then what's the conclusion?
Okay, so that's Iraq, guys.
Yeah.
So abbreviate that one more time.
Iraq, IRAC. So what's the issue?
Okay.
You know, what's the relevant laws
Okay.
for that? What apply the facts,
Yeah.
the facts of your case, and then what's the conclusion?
Yeah. Remember
So
that.
If
Remember that.
it's a if then, you know,
Yeah.
if this happens, then this should happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, or if ought is what they
Right.
consider in some
Okay.
of them. So, but yeah, they're good. Qui tam is for that. You're suing on behalf of the king, and when you bring it, the government has an opportunity to, when you do bring a qui tam suit and you put it in there and under these certain things, and you have to list the crimes that are happening. The government takes a look at it, and what they basically say on here, like what happens is that you go in there and you do it. So the government takes a look at it and they look at your case, and then they have two options. One, actually probably three options. One, they take a look at it and see if they want to be involved in it. If they don't want to be involved in it, then they'll back off. Then it goes to you and you can still pursue it. If they pick it up, which that's the good thing that they do, if they want to pick it up, then all you have to do is inspect what you expect from them, because then they're going to provide you a lawyer.
Okay. So what do you mean?
On behalf of you and the other people that are in your
So what do you mean inspect what you expect from them? Is that what
inspect
you
what you expect? So if they're
Okay.
doing these things, because a lot of them, sometimes the government might just pick it up and say, oh yeah, we're going to do this for you.
Okay,
You know?
so whatever their expectations that they've laid out for you, basically make sure you're looking in to make sure they're actually following their own
Yeah.
expectations they put
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So if
Okay,
you wanted,
okay,
you know, certain things, and you know,
Yeah.
declaratory relief, injunctive relief, this is what you're going for. If they're not arguing that case on behalf of you for that, then you know, just fire them. Say no, we don't want you doing that.
Now, can you just do that? We can fire whatever attorney
No.
they give you or a lawyer?
Because
No?
once you do it, that's the rule. So if a qui tam, they have to. You're giving the government the opportunity to get in on your case.
Right, right.
And if they take the case,
Yeah.
then they'll take the case.
Yeah.
If they don't, then you as an individual have to come up with this stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
Or the third thing, they just dismiss it if it's a frivolous case.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, like hence the analogy.
Now,
ball.
so in order for it to be a qui tam, then does that mean every time that the government has to itself kind of take the case, then like take over the case?
No, they're not mandated to take the case.
So
That's
you
the
can
thing.
still do a qui
But
tam, but do it yourself.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
if they-
okay,
but the government gets a first shot at it.
okay.
If they don't want to, then you move forward with it on your own.
Oh, okay.
You don't have that option, because
Okay.
basically what you're doing, it's a federal statute, federal law. You're doing this, you're giving the government, they get first dibs at it.
Okay. So whether they take it or not, you can still move forward
Yeah,
with it.
right,
Okay,
right,
gotcha.
on your
Okay.
own.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. What are some of the differences? Like, well, okay, what's a big difference between a qui tam and a lawsuit? Like, like
There's
really,
no difference.
there's
Qui
no
tam is
difference.
lawsuit.
Okay.
It's a lawsuit.
Okay, it's just packaged up a little bit like
No,
different. No,
there's nothing different.
no,
Everything that
okay.
you bring into court is a lawsuit.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're not going
Okay.
there doing some manifesto. They can give a shit less if you had a manifesto in there.
Okay. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Anytime you bring something to court, it's a lawsuit. You have a conflict.
Okay. Well, that no, I'm glad I know that now because I've been trying to figure out like what the heck is the difference between the two. So
Yeah, no, there's no difference. A
okay.
lawsuit is a lawsuit. A
Okay.
lawsuit is the same thing. The thing that you're stuck on is that you're seeing state and you hear lawsuit, whereas you see federal, you hear complaint. A complaint in the federal court is a lawsuit.
Okay. Okay. But it's just called the qui tam instead.
No, 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 no,
No, no.
no.
Okay.
A complaint
Yeah.
in the federal court, which that's what a qui tam
Okay.
is the same as a lawsuit in a state court or a
Okay.
tribal court.
Oh, okay.
There's
Gotcha.
nothing different.
Gotcha.
Potato.
Okay.
The same thing.
Okay. Cool.
So
Cool.
the qui tam is just a kind of lawsuit.
Right. Okay. So let me ask you this then. Why do you believe that doing the qui tam is the best way to basically start bringing some justice for equal shared
Because you
parenting
can
and father's
collectively gather research statistics and other firsthand accounts of fathers,
Okay.
and you put all of this together, and that's where it rolls into like whistleblower status too. So you
Okay.
have whistleblower status, which means that they're supposed to keep you anonymous, or excuse me, confidential,
Yeah.
and not anonymous. Anonymous means nobody knows nothing about you, but confidential with a certain degree. And then if you're in a whistleblower status for that, then what happens is the government is mandated to provide you an attorney,
Okay.
because
Okay.
that's a civil matter. Qui tam is a civil matter. It can turn into criminal matter, but just like if you committed a crime, you're supposed to be afforded adequate representation
Okay.
at the state's expense. Well, qui tam is not. It's qui tam is a civil matter. But then later on, if throughout the course of a chain of events within that lawsuit, there could be criminal charges,
Mm.
and then that depends on whether the prosecutor or
Wants to move forward.
yeah,
Okay.
and you can push those issues if you just say, hey, look at this stuff, this happened.
Right. Right.
Obviously this is an issue. These are the relevant laws that happen. These are the facts. Here's the conclusion. They did all of this stuff, so they committed a crime. So why aren't you prosecuting them?
Right.
But then that's later on down the road. You're just trying to do
Now,
the civil portion of it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I assume that obviously you support the qui tam. I assume that you feel confident that you can, basically what you need to do to lay out the proper
Mhm.
argument to have some success with the qui tam. Okay.
Mhm.
So, why do you think then a qui tam is the best route to take specifically when it comes to the family courts and
Because
like
it's a
father's parental rights issues?
Because it's a federal standard. Once it's a federal standard, a federal case precedence, a federal law,
Yeah.
anybody can cite it and,
Okay.
and pull it and use it for any case and say, okay, well, here's the trump card.
Okay. Okay.
Boom, you need to follow this law.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the case precedence. This is what was set. You have to do it. It's not, well, my discretion. No, doesn't matter your discretion.
Right. Right.
It supersedes everything.
Yeah. So, okay, let me ask you this. With a qui tam lawsuit, what do you think is that sweet spot as far as a number of people that need to bring their cases together just to get it started? Like how many people?
Well, it's just more than one, because there's just strength in numbers. There's
Right.
no sweet spot. It's just strength in numbers.
Right.
Well,
Well,
whether you have 5 or 500 or 5,000,
right.
you're gonna get it. And so, what's your intention? If your intention is to go in there and be financially rich off of that stuff, then a qui tam suit is not for you.
Right.
You're
right.
gonna get some money from it,
Yeah.
which you want, but maybe that's because of court,
Very
court
least,
fees,
yeah. Right.
traveling, that type of stuff, within reason.
Right.
But you're not going to go in there and say, I want $150 million and blah, 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 whatever the case may be. No, you need to, be reasonable on yourself. Don't sit there and say, but, go in there and if there's 10 of you that do it, which
Yeah.
you can, and you collectively have all these things and these crimes that they've committed at state levels and tribal levels, then you have a good foundation. And then you can sit there and think, okay, give me your whoever out of those 10 people, right? Let's get your highest amount that you spent on everything for fighting for your children
Yeah.
to the lowest dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then just take the average of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then from there, then you're going to tack on a bunch of other things that you need to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and that's even if they provide you an attorney.
right.
So if you're saying like, oh, okay, $500,000.
And the
You know what I mean?
number
You don't want to do that because you just want to go high.
and the number of individuals that can participate in the qui tam is
Has to be established first.
it has to be established, but
Mhm.
can you grow it after that? Like, can you add more people
Sometimes
as
I
the
think
case moves along?
as you look at it, sometimes you can,
Okay.
but that's again, you have to follow the local court procedures.
Okay. With you saying a number has to be established at the beginning, then, and I just want to ask you this strictly for like, okay, if you were to go in there.
It's not a class action suit.
Right, right,
Not a
right.
class
But
action
obviously, we always talk about there's power in numbers and all that stuff. What would you like to see to be that? How many dads or whatever would you like to? What would be your dream number to start out with dads? Like, if you could choose a start out number, like how many dads do you think would make you feel as confident as you could start out going into court? Like, give you the most confidence. Excuse me.
Well, like I said, if you just had 10 dads,
10
but
dads. Okay, that's realistic.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's realistic. But at the same time, it would be better if you had,
The more the merrier.
yeah, the more the merrier. But if you had like, and this is not hard to do, if you just had 5 from each state,
Right. Yeah.
so that you can say, you had 5 fathers from each state, boom, boom, boom. But
Yeah.
you could be waiting for years to get 5 fathers on there because of the fact that, yeah, even we got a lot of social media out there and calls for it. You got to think about the manpower. If it was just me and you and we were taking all these calls and trying to do all this stuff, that's pretty tough because you got to weed through it. Like, okay,
Right.
you want to get these cases, you want to get them all, but you don't want to get the take, for instance, there's fathers that already have 50-50 custody, right?
Right.
It's not saying that they don't deserve more custody than that, but what I'm saying is like they already have 50-50.
Yeah, you got to get the best cases you can get.
Yeah. The most egregious cases. And let's face it, that's 80%.
Yeah. I'm
So
like, so many
you know,
cases
what you
running
don't-
through my head.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to get the 3% of fathers that have full custody already.
Right.
Because they're not going to do you any good.
Right.
There's only 3% total in national numbers that fathers have full custody. You're not going to go to them and tell them, hey, jump on board with this, because they have, they don't have any, per se gripes or moans on why not having custody of their kids.
I just want to say this real quick. Dads, like 5 dads in 5 states, that's really not that many people. And so when you really think about it, it's only 5 dads in 5 states. Honestly, we should be able to get 5 dads in all 50 states.
Yeah,
Like,
and you should have to, and that's the thing. Like I can name 10 right off the top of my head right now.
me
that I
too.
could go
Right.
get. But some of those, and I can name more than that beyond that. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
But you got to remember one of the people, like, for instance, there's a person we know, we're not going to say the name, but they just think that this tolerance and understanding, and they didn't want to go forward with it, and they don't want to move. Well, I want to be the nice guy. Well, you know what? Then get the fuck out.
Right.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
We're not playing nice.
Right.
Nice got us where we're
Nowhere.
at. Yeah, nice got us nowhere. Nice got us right where we're at now.
Yeah.
Trying to fight the system.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, you know what? You want to be one of those simps or one of those guys that says tolerance and understanding is going to win the case. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. We don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to make excuses for him.
So, all right, man, like with the qui tam, what, like, big picture wise, what would you like to achieve out of the qui tam? Like, what's What's
just
your
a foundation for all fathers nationwide, you know what I mean? And then you get it and you start rolling. Like I said, one of the guys that I spoke with, Jonathan Jones, he talks about this. You know, there's another guy that helped create the VAWA Act and now is coming back and biting him in the ass. And I was like, well,
Yeah, I know who you're talking
you
about.
know,
Yeah.
you fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, and
Right.
now it's being used against him and he's lost his children because of that stuff.
Man,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And he was a legislator. So now, you know, all these people, oh, well, it won't happen to me. Well, look what happened.
Yeah.
You know?
And actually, I mean, the family courts love going after the middle class and upper middle class
Yeah.
dads because
Because they know that you're not financially.
yeah, there's disposable income there
Mhm.
to help make you guys poor. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, you're not poor yet. Well, wait till you start with
give
that.
it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Well, I
So
mean,
it's again, you know, the quitam is just like a class action
yeah.
with other different set of rules that you have to have.
Okay.
So, but again, an individual can come up and it applies to everybody. But what happens, the spoils of that goes to those people that are initially in that case. So
Right.
if you and I did a qui tam suit against, you know, the state of Washington, you know, like we are,
everyone's gonna benefit, but we'll benefit
yeah, well,
financially.
yeah,
Yes.
well, whatever it is, we'll get
Right.
the lion's share, you know, quote unquote, the lion's share of whatever happens.
I would
So
be
if there was a
happy.
if there was a financial thing, for instance, like if we sued for 10 million for attorney's fees, pain and suffering, all that stuff, we got 10 and we said we wanted 10 million, but we're suing on behalf of all this, we would get a certain percentage of that.
Yeah.
And it would go to us and then we'd split it, you know, so maybe it's like 60%, you get
Ooh.
30, we get 30. And then the other fathers that get into it, it would have to go into a trust, right?
Okay.
And then whoever
And that's how it would
comes
get
in,
dispersed or what?
right. It would go into a trust and then they would bring their case and say, oh, okay, well, this happened to me, this one, you know,
here's your piece of the pie.
here's your piece of the pie. You know, they might get $10,000.
But hey, that's maybe lawyer bills right there for them that they've had on, you know, that they've
Yeah.
pay off.
Yeah, it could be, but again, you have to get into it, and you know, we all know that money's not everything, but it's a good financial motivator.
Right.
So, but if you get in that, it's not like a class action suit. Like a class action suit, yes, whoever brought it gets the lion's share still, but you're still getting a pretty good amount of the money. Not in a queen tam suit, you get that. You might get this, but you can't sit there and bitch later and come back and sue them. Well, my case was worse than your case.
That
so why
shit's
didn't I
gotta
get more?
stop,
They'd be
man.
like, no,
Yeah.
you're stupid, dude. You're not gonna get more than that. Just be happy with what you got.
Well,
Because the legal benefit far outweighs that financial benefit.
right, because it's gonna have a positive effect for the whole nation.
Yeah, there's no dude that's gonna just be sitting back eating Cheetos,
So-
jerking off, and gonna
Okay.
benefit.
So would you say then basically like the main aim of the Quitam beside, I mean, secondly is, you know, if we get some finances, that's great. But the main aim is to basically reestablish that 50-50 custody is pretty much
That's your
the law of
argument.
the land.
That's what it is. So you have to go in. It's like, okay, what happened?
Yeah.
You know, it's the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why.
Right.
So what's the complaint? And it goes through on a qui tam suit, and it is, you know, and I can show anybody this and school them on it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is the problem. Again, what's the issue? What's the relevant law? Apply the facts, and what's the conclusion? So the same thing with a lawsuit, whether it's you know, a qui tam lawsuit or a RICO lawsuit or any of these things. What's the issue? This is the issue. Well, now this is my argument.
Right. So here's the statutes, the laws, the rulings supporting my argument.
My argument is jurisdiction, due process, unconstitutional laws, you know, violation of your Second Amendment, First Amendment, Fifth Amendment, 14th Amendment rights, and you just list them out. You know what I mean? Hague Convention, you know, all these things. You list those things. Those are the violations.
Yeah.
And those are actually criminal violations. So if you're violating based off of USC 240, you know, Title 18, USC 241 and 242, then that's a criminal violation. If you have a RICO, Now a RICO is kind of different in the same thing. Like a RICO act, all you have to have is you look up RICO, and RICO is racketeering, influence, corrupt organizations. Well, that's what the court system is. So under RICO, you have to have, there's 38 offenses,
Okay.
criminal offenses.
Yeah.
You only have to have 2 of
For it
those
to be
38.
RICO?
Yeah, to be RICO.
Okay. Yeah.
And in a RICO act, you bring that up, right? And then again, the state has first dibs at it.
Okay.
If they want to take it, then they're going to take it and they're going to fight it for you on your behalf. If they don't, you can still bring a RICO act. And
Now-
again, you can bring it against the government, state, federal, and things like that, or you can bring it against the individual.
Now, this might sound like a dumb question. Can you combine a RICO with a qui tam, or are they completely separate?
Yeah, you can, but that's a lot of work.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all about what you can articulate.
Yeah.
So apply the laws.
Right.
You apply the laws, you apply the facts, and you articulate it so that judge is taking a look at it and saying, okay, this is legit shit. We're going to move forward with it.
Okay.
Here's your
Okay.
oral argument. Then you go into your oral argument, and then that's when you fight. In the oral argument, that's a lot better, because then you can't get these people to lie on paper.
Right. Right. Yeah.
That's just like anybody else. The same thing is like, you get a piece of paper and this shows Olive Code, Cody Lydell.
Right.
Are you that piece of paper? No.
No. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but
Yeah.
that's how a lot of these court things out. Eventually what you want to do is you want to force them to do an oral argument. Eventually it'll come on its own, but you want to push that thing for an oral argument.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you do an oral argument, then that's where you can bring it out, and they can't lie, they can't hide
Okay.
with that.
Okay. Yeah.
So they have to prepare, because
Yeah.
the burden of proof against that is on them.
Right. So if we were to try to bring in an oral argument, I mean, who would like with our family court stuff, who would we be targeting through the qui tam, like specifically? Would it be
Washington State?
Washington State. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Washington State
because
as
then
a
it
whole.
disseminate, Washington State, but it would
Okay.
be the Washington State family court system.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you just
Which
but you
implements
started
so many people.
Yeah, you start here in Spokane, and then once you started in Spokane, it applies to everybody in Washington State.
Right. Right.
And so they can't hide.
Yeah.
So, and that's the things you have to look up, like the laws. Let me see here real quick.
Well, that's why I'm just going to throw this in there real quick. Dads, that's why there's 39 counties in Washington State, and we are trying to get at least one parent from all 39 counties. But if we could get a mom and a dad from all 39 counties, it would, to come together in a qui tam, combine cases, it would be
Yeah. It's not just for men. I mean, there's like 2 women that I would probably bring in on this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That they got screwed over.
Right.
But, so along those lines, just like the history origin of like the qui tam. So it's like originated 13th century England. Commoners would sue on behalf of the king. The king would then reward the commoner as a token of gratitude. Because not everybody, and again, the same thing is like the king doesn't know everything that's going on, but he, once this is brought to his attention, same thing. Well, same thing with the government. The government fucking knows this is going on.
Yeah.
Let's just,
Right.
leave it at that. However, you do it and you push it and you're fighting for it, then they have to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Who-
President
who-
Trump, we're suing on behalf of your ass.
Yeah. Who's knocking at the door? You know what I mean?
Right,
When
right.
you hear somebody knocking at the door, somebody's knocking at the door. So that's the best analogy for it. But
Okay.
anyway,
Yeah.
and then Abraham Lincoln was the one that did the False Claims Act. And so
Do you do that through a qui tam or
No.
okay.
So this is the False Claims Act, known as Lincoln's Law. And that was to reinvigorate the qui tam. So he wanted more qui tam lawsuits to come up because he knew that these private individuals were getting screwed over by government or other individuals.
Yeah.
Under that. So, what he wanted to do is it allows private individuals to file a lawsuit against a company or individual that has fraudulently obtained government funding.
Okay. Yeah.
So that right there should tell you in a nutshell right there. So they're fraudulently, an individual or the company or the government is getting funding because they're doing these protection
The
orders,
family courts.
because they're doing,
Yeah.
giving custody to the mother
Yeah.
81.7% of the time.
Right. Yeah.
Because in turn, that state is getting Title 4D money from the Social Security Act.
Right.
That woman is getting child support, is getting alimony.
Yeah.
So they're getting funding.
Right. Yeah.
So that's how you do it, you know.
That's
and
crazy, man. So I mean, man, they really, as long as like
if you understand that, there's a difference between communication and comprehension.
Yeah.
Everybody always says, "Oh, well, you have to communicate these things to people so that they know."
you have to
No,
be able to comprehend it.
they have to be the biggest part of that of communication is comprehension.
Right. Right. Yeah.
If you're talking to somebody and they just have complete cognitive dissonance,
Yeah.
you know, that's no ignorance of the law is never an excuse. However, once they understand that and they comprehend that, even if they have cognitive dissonance or ignorance, they're not off the hook.
Right. Right.
They can deny it all they want. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
just because you don't see it, it doesn't mean you don't have to believe it. I like those people because those people are the ones that are idiots. You know, it's just like, okay, what do you think that you're breathing out there?
Right. Yeah.
You can't see air, but you're breathing it. It's there.
Right.
It's keeping your ass alive.
Yeah.
You know, like the other thing is like gravity.
Yeah.
How are you staying here on Earth? You can't see gravity,
It's there.
but it's there. It's keeping you strapped
Right.
to Earth. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
those people that do that crap are just like, okay, there you go. You're gonna go down that slippery slope. Well, let me give you this one, you idiot.
Well, and it's crazy too, because I mean, it seems like really like, bro, to me, it's clear. And when I say we, I mean everybody that has been through this freaking terrible family court system. I think there's no denying the fact that we have the law on our side, and we have all the evidence we need to basically blow a hole through this corrupt system and really restructure it. Like, it's just about actually doing it and getting it done. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so but you know, some of these things that people have, they don't quite understand. And so that's why I'm putting a class together with Melissa eventually to get and then you said you would help too. With that,
Yeah, well,
get
what I
that
wanna
at the
do is-
library and start putting this stuff together.
well, I want to record you guys. I want to
yeah.
have you guys do online classes so
Mhm.
we can have them like as a core on our podcast in the playlist playlist menus available, so anyone can watch them anytime. You
Mhm.
know, like, yeah, I think it's extremely important. And you and Melissa both have a great just knowledge of the laws and all, you know. So I mean, you guys are just like, you're fucking awesome in that department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She massages it better. I just say how it is.
Right,
You know
right,
what I mean?
right. Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
saying shit and
right.
turds, and she is saying excrement and poo poo, you know. So like, you know, she does that, but it's the same idea.
You know what? That's that nice, loving, good mama touch.
Yeah.
You know, like that's that real mama touch. Like, Melissa, we appreciate you, my dear.
Yeah. But I did want to address this one thing because I see a lot of it that people don't understand because it's the law.
Yeah.
It's black and white. If it wasn't there, then they wouldn't do it. You know, where the law ends, tyranny begins.
Right.
You know, again, folks, where the law ends, tyranny begins.
And this is tyranny.
Yeah.
It's
So,
tyranny.
you know, people are saying, oh, well, judges are immune. Yes, but you have to see there's certain statuses of judges that they have complete immunity, but it doesn't say it in here. And so that's why you have to force it and articulate it.
Yeah.
Get something in there and if it's a rule, who gives a fuck? It's not a law.
Yeah. Yeah.
A law supersedes a rule. Constitution supersedes, you know, state law. Constitution supersedes federal law.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when it comes to it and a state law goes against a federal law, then a federal law supersedes a state law.
Yeah.
So, but for instance, okay. Let's see. And this pertains to Title 18 USC 241, because I want to just dispel that. And it's a civil rights conspiracy.
Okay.
Say, all you have to, it's unlawful for two or more persons to agree to injure, threaten, or intimidate a person in the U.S. in free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege secured by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or because of his or her having exercised such a right.
Mm.
Again, people need to look that up and read it and understand it and comprehend that stuff.
Now, is this section 18 USC?
This one's Title 18 USC 241.
Okay, that's right. Okay, yeah. So I'm looking
And
at
then-
the right.
and
It's
then
on the
this is-
screen right here,
Yeah.
guys.
So on that too is, and just as it reads like that, unlike most conspiracy statutes, 241 does not require as an element the commission of an overt act.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be right here out in the open.
Yeah.
It can be subversive.
Okay.
So
So it
you
could
don't
be
have
covert,
to,
yeah.
it could be subversive, covert, behind closed doors, or any of that. You just throw it out there that that's what it is, and you don't necessarily have to prove it. They have to disprove it.
Okay.
They have to disprove that they didn't do any covert or subversive things.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be outright.
Okay.
So, and again, the offense is always a felony.
And is there any of these other USCs that you want to highlight like that we got on here, dude?
Scroll down, and then 242. So 242. Right, okay. Right there. Let me see. Read right here. Okay. Defendants act. So the defendants, that's the ones who we're going against, right?
Right.
Defendants act under color of law when they wield power vested by a government entity. Those prosecuted under the statute typically include police officers, sheriff's deputies, prison guards. However, other government actors such as judges, district attorneys, other public officials, and public school employees can also act under color of law and can be prosecuted under this statute. Read that again. Such as judges, district attorneys, and other public officials and public school employees.
So basically anyone essentially is open to. Yeah.
So it is, I mean, it's right there. It's black and white.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything. Certain judges.
Yeah.
It says judges.
Right. Judges are judges.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether you're a judge in a appellate court or a lower court or a district court or municipal court, it's judges.
Yep.
All judges are there.
Okay. So that's 18 USC 242. Anything else important in this one to highlight?
Right there when they're talking about they say the department has also prosecuted public officials for thefts, false arrests, evidence planting, and failing to protect someone in custody from constitutional violation committed by others.
Okay. Yeah.
A violation of the statute is a misdemeanor unless prosecutors prove one of the statutory aggravating factors, such as bodily harm, use of dangerous weapon, kidnapping, aggravated, blah, blah, blah. So it's, a deprivation of the rights of the color law. So the best analogy is to say,
well, I figure
at one point in time,
yeah.
let's say, for instance, somebody used to be a police officer.
Yeah.
5 years have gone by, they haven't been a police officer. The next year they arrest somebody and they detain them and bring them down there. Unless they're under specifically a citizen's arrest type thing, but they just go ahead and detain somebody and cuff them up and take them down to Spokane County Sheriff's.
Yeah.
And they say, here, this person's under arrest for this. They're going to look at you like you're fucking crazy.
Right.
You just turned in, you're just showing us your crime, but this is what happened. We have to investigate that. That person is no longer has law enforcement, credentials.
Yeah, you're talking. Yeah,
yeah.
Guy that used to be a cop. Yeah.
Well, I used to be a cop. So what?
Right.
It doesn't matter. Same thing with somebody that says that they're a doctor.
Right.
But they're acting outside their scope of authority.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not going to tell you to, you need to get 2 or 3 of these teeth pulled out and go pull them out. Well, I'm a medical doctor. No. It doesn't work that way, dude.
Right.
You're effed up.
Yeah. No. That's crazy, dude.
But
So
that should qualify. But people are going to come back and argue, well, these certain judges. No, dude, that's what
says
you have to
judges.
enforce. Yeah, judges. It doesn't say anything. No
Right.
qualified immunity goes to these people.
Well, and I feel
The
like
only ones that I could probably think that may have that qualified immunity and where they can't be would be the Supreme Court justices.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
That's it.
right.
Those 12 judges. That's it. Nobody else. Not at appeals court level, none of this. Judges.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree, man. There's gotta
If they were gonna say that, then they should put it in parentheses, except for these judges.
yeah. I mean, I just
That's the letter of the law, right? It's black and white.
Exactly. And it needs to be enforced because I mean, I have no faith in the law. I have no faith in the pharmaceutical industry. I have no faith in medical, so on and so on. I just have no faith in government right now at all.
Mhm.
And it's just, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot to look forward to in the
Oh,
next
me
4
too.
years, but I think
Yeah.
also beyond that, because I think what hopefully getting Jonathan Jones on here for his interview, like what he said happened with the truckers and changed a nation in less than a week.
Right.
If you get all these fathers that are doing this and they come together and they unite and they do it,
Oh.
they're done. You get these fathers' rights movements groups that are out there in number and whatever else, and you start pushing that crap,
Right.
done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's really just simple, dude. It's
Mhm.
really that freaking simple.
Yeah.
Like dads, we don't, all we really have to do is come together. I know it sounds so simple and like it should
And
be
it
more
is that simple.
complicated, but it is, yeah, it is that damn simple. Like we just have to work together. It doesn't matter who has the worst case. None of that crap matters. Like
Mhm.
we just really need to work together. And honestly, too, the more we work together, the larger of a support group we have. And I know everyone knows this, but when you have support, it makes it easier to be able to deal with adversity and all the crazy shit getting thrown at you, you
Because
know?
the minimum, just the minimum that we want is just 50-50
Yeah,
custody.
right.
Not shared parenting, because I don't like that word. I really want shared parenting out.
Yeah,
Shared, 90-10, that's shared.
right.
You
Yeah,
know, 95-5, that's shared. I don't want that. I don't want that terminology. That's the biggest reason why these attorneys and legislators get away with shit, because they put that in the law
yep,
and they use the word may
right,
versus shall.
right. Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
if you have mandates rather than, well, I can or I can't.
right.
No.
Well, think about this too, man. Like how crazy it would be if we literally just had one or two parents from all 50 states plus one one attorney in each state to be able to just handle those cases, and they were all just working together and
Well, you just
everyone
get all
working.
50 of those attorneys together and you say this, and then you collectively get this from all these litigants,
Right,
from all these people, me, you, whoever else, and
right,
you just each chip in,
right,
this $1,000,
right.
for,
So you got an attorney
you know.
representing each state. That attorney focuses on just the people in their state. And then same with all the other attorneys. And then when they get all the information, then the 50 attorneys come together and start helping build the case together with all
Well,
their
you
clients.
just, yeah, but if you just got 50, just one attorney, which it can be done, just one attorney too, from each 50 states that believes in this
That's
and
what I'm
believes that
saying.
stuff,
Yeah.
and you just have them all together and you put them in that suit, and then you just have all these people and whatever state they're in, that's their attorney that they're doing, and they're collectively getting together, like say I was the head of all those 50 litigants, right?
Yeah.
And then I was also the head of all those attorneys. Well, I'm going to have one attorney, maybe possibly a couple other attorneys that are the go-to attorneys,
Right.
to where they're bringing updates.
Yeah.
But then you tell them, hey, you're going to do this for me. You're going to do this for me. We were like, well, why would you say that? It's like, well, because those attorneys work for us.
Right.
They're not working on their own.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm your fucking boss.
Right. Yeah.
You're not telling me what to do. You're asking me what to do, and I'm telling you to do this. If it can't be done, then okay, let me see why, tell me why it can't be done.
Yeah.
And then I'll research on my own, come back and like, no, this is bullshit. What about this?
And think about
You
this,
have to keep
dads,
them in
too,
check.
and just parents in general. Like, so obviously we all know attorneys are expensive, right? But I mean, if you had two parents in each state, you could split the cost of that attorney, you know, to like fund that attorney.
Yeah, but
And
then they're gonna say, well, it's just us too. Well, you know, have people donate to you.
right,
You know,
right.
we get a GoFundMe.
Well, and that's what we're working on, you guys. Like, okay, see it behind us. Welcome to the cause. That's what this is about. This is a cause with this whole qui tam thing, this whole 50-50 custody thing. That's what this is, you guys. This is a cause. That's what we are about. And we're gonna make this happen. We don't care how much we have to continue to encourage you guys and
Yeah.
even just sometimes help drag you along. We're going to find the 50 plus brave parents out there, and we are finding them that are getting on board with this, and we're gonna find the attorneys, and this is gonna happen, you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
You know?
Ultimately, you know, you would rather like to do it nationally like that.
Yeah,
But if one state has to do it and there's 500 or, you know, 10
yeah,
people that are doing that for that one, for the betterment of all of men
right, right.
and all of
And just
all of
society as a
alienated
whole.
parents, yeah,
I mean, it benefits
yeah,
society, you
yeah,
know?
because you can use that case precedence and that stuff.
Yeah,
Because the one that they always like to use to put the kibosh on a lot of stuff is this Rooker Feldman bullshit.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, you guys. So, I mean, again, I encourage you all to reach out to us. I'm gonna put it
yeah,
out there. You can directly call me or text me at 541-731-3793. You can email us at fathersgospelpodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up at either of those, and I'll make sure that contact information is flashing here on the screen for you while you're watching this. But
yeah, and then I'll just get in. I mean, and then the people that contact me, I don't want to put my number out there
no,
because
you're
then I get
fine.
like
I know. Yeah.
tons of stuff, and you know, and I
That's
mean,
my job to be
like I'm
that.
already, yeah, because I'm already doing all that stuff for. I'm already doing that stuff for my lawsuits, so I'm trying to keep up and do this at the same time, and just so busy. But it's not like I'm not too busy to do father stuff
Right.
for fathers and men solely. But again, there's 3 women that I'm helping out right now and do the same thing.
Well, and we only want like I only want you guys reaching out to me if you're really about getting in on this cause and helping join in on this qui tam. Like, because again, like I mean, I'm convinced, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say Kyle's convinced that the only way to change a system is to really come together and go after legally the government
Yeah,
and hold them responsible.
force them to do the stuff that they put on there and that they put on the books. This is not something that just magically appeared,
Yeah.
you know, 2 or 3 years ago. It's been on the books for a while. It's
Right.
been there. That's the law, you
Right.
know, and force them to do that because that's what is on the Department of Justice at you know, in Washington D.C., where the law ends, tyranny begins.
Right. Well, you know, and we know this, dads, we know that this is happening to eight when it comes to the family courts, 80% of the people that are being alienated from their children are dads, right? And we don't want to pass this, we don't want to pass this on to our little
No,
boys
we
or
don't.
our little girls. So let's get this done now. So reach out to me. Let's bring our cases together because whether you get on board with us or not, me and Kyle and some other awesome people we're working with, we're getting this done regardless whether you choose to join us or not, but we'd love to have you join us.
Yeah.
So it's that simple. But
Yeah.
yeah. All right, brother, anything else?
The only number to give them is probably like 8675309.
8674309.
People start calling that crap. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, just get a hold of me through you and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
because I just said, like I said, I'm just only one man, but I'm trying to do
Yeah.
all this stuff, and I'm trying to help other people too. Because like I said, I'm tired of people not stepping forward, you know. And I've been one where I'm like, yeah, I talk the talk, but I walk the walk.
Well, and with you saying like, and this goes further with Kyle, like he said, he's only one man. We're all only one man or one woman, and again, that's why it is so important for us to work together because it's going to make life a whole lot easier on all of us. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. most recently, like I said, you know, talking the talk and walking the walk, I've served papers for people.
Right.
I've helped them out, showed them up, going to court, doing this stuff,
Right.
highlighting it, publicizing, put it on a platform and things like that. And most recently, when I served this one attorney for, you know, for him and his wife,
Yeah.
they got a better outcome than they did before. So I like to think that I
Nice.
helped with that. I
Yeah.
didn't necessarily give them the legal advice to do this stuff, but that served them because they were those other attorneys were trying to play games.
Right.
It's like, here you go, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You've been served.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
all right, brother. All right, guys. We're going to stop it right here before we get out of here. Make sure you know what to do. Give us a like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, and join us. Welcome to the cause. Join the cause, baby. All right. We love y'all. And till next time, stay safe. We'll see y'all soon. God bless. Peace.
keep your head on a swivel.
Keep your head on a
Exposed, heaven to set. Your dad is an angel, I'm here to protect.